In a recent interview, he said, quote, "When it comes to me, people are not going to think in a logical way or simply look at what I've done and say, that's it. They got to add a narrative to it. They got to push something to discredit me." Kevin Durant essentially saying that he is unfairly criticized. This is going to be maybe my favorite show of the year because this is one of those thinking shows. This is one of those shows where I really put a lot of effort into it. We really put a lot of effort before the show. During the show, there's always a pre-show meeting, and we really put a lot into this one. My first thought, Kevin Durant's not unfairly criticized. I will try to convince you, the viewer, and the three brilliant minds at this desk that he's not unfairly criticized. Why? Because whenever you are attached to the best, you will receive an excessive amount of criticism, and you may misconstrue that excessive amount of criticism as unfair criticism. Kevin Durant joined the best team in the history of the National Basketball Association by regular season record, the Golden State Warriors that won 73 games. That is why we excessively criticize Kevin Durant. But let's think about it. Tom Brady was coupled with the best coach of all time in Bill Belichick. Until Tom Brady left Belichick and won by himself with Bruce Arians, we questioned how much is Brady, how much is Belichick. What have we done twice this week on this show alone? Questioned how great is Belichick because he was coupled with the best in Tom Brady. What did we do yesterday on this show alone? Kyrie Irving. We questioned Kyrie Irving's dominance because when he won, he was coupled with the best in LeBron James. But let's leave sports for a moment. Let's just talk life. Many people go to Starbucks. If you ask anybody how good Starbucks coffee is, they might question it because Starbucks is the best coffee brand. Do they got the best coffee? Many would say no. You excessively criticize, some might say unfairly criticize coffee, an inanimate object. We don't tweet at coffee to get retweets. We always question things that are attached to or associated with the best. Kobe Bryant, was it Kobe or was it Shaq? We always do that. So this, to me, is not a Kevin Durant issue in isolation. Kevin Durant is unfairly criticized because he's not actually unfairly criticized. He's criticized because he joined the best, and anybody that is at any point in time ever tethered to the best, LeSean McCoy, will get excessive amounts of criticism.
He's unfairly criticized.
You got to tell me why.
The thing with Kevin Durant is this. If we just wrote down and talked about all the greats, right? We talk about the Magics, Kareems, Shaq, Jordan, Kobe's, and then we talk about their play, right? And then we talk about their accolades. If I told you that a player with no name, right? He's a 4-time scoring champ, 3-time All-Star, he's an MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time NBA championship. If you just erase the names, right? I don't know if it's Barkley, I don't know who it is. You would tell me that's a great resume. Then let's add on to that resume. I've seen players like Michael Jordan again. I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. I think if you look at Kobe's tape, you look at Jordan, it's identical. Jordan's probably better, but it's identical. Great players. There's no player like Kevin Durant. We haven't even seen it, and we might not see it for another 20, 30 years.
Sure.
And it's like they criticize him so much for being great. Sometimes I'm thinking, like, is it jealousy? What is it? And then everybody loves to talk about the Warriors team. He teamed up with the greatest team assembled of all time, the Golden State Warriors. But let's think about that for a second. First of all, they didn't win a championship that year.
They didn't.
The best record, they lost the championship. So they weren't good enough to win that, right? He didn't go calling the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors called him.
True.
Matter of fact, Draymond Green, after they lost, he called him in the parking lot. You know them type of losses. You get your butt kicked. You take it forever to get in the shower. You got the media out there. You do the media. And then before you go home and see your family, you still take your time. Then you get in your car. Man.
You sitting there. You said you're thinking. You think about life.
KD, yo. You see the game? You lose. Then, going further, this is all accurate. They go to the Hamptons to meet Kevin Durant, right? Steph, Clay, Draymond, Iguodala, Steve Kerr. So for this team to be so great, they went to chase Kevin Durant.
Sure.
It's like people leave that part out. Like he just went to go join the team. They came and got him because they knew that they couldn't win because they didn't win.
Sure.
So all the critics out there that hate on Kevin Durant, I don't know why. I think it's because we never seen a player like him before. His accolades and his resume is so great. It's like they have nothing to talk about, so they pick at something.
But then why, Shady, if you have an issue with what people say about Kevin Durant, why do you go so hard on Belichick, telling the world that Belichick without Tom Brady has not won?
Wait, time out. Kevin Durant is great within himself. Like, just looking at him, watching him do his thing, where now we seeing Belichick, he's like average. if Kevin Durant is not with the Warriors, he's never going to look average, right? Hello? He's never going to look average. When we look at Belichick, they look average. Don't they? I mean, I don't want to make
a good point.
Okay, yeah.
I'm interested in hearing what you have to say.
When I speak about the God the right way, and the God is Kevin Durant.
I mean, KD did win an MVP before he got.
That don't count, Joey Taylor.
Go to the finals.
That's your boy. That don't
the
count.
finals without the Warriors. Belichick did not do those things. Yeah. This was apples to oranges.
4 scoring titles.
But yeah, he is independently great from the Warriors. I don't like the word fair because nothing in life is fair. But what I think KD is realizing in that statement, and I would agree with him, is you can't control how other people view you. And I think KD has reached a point in his career where he has realized that he needs to live and play for himself. No matter what he does, people are going to feel how they feel about his career. They're going to feel how they feel about his choices. And at the end of the day, the only person that you should be actively trying to make happy is yourself.
Sure.
And I think that KD has reached that point. When I read the quote, I'm like, yeah, he's right. It just doesn't matter what other people view you and how other people view your career. The discourse about greatness, the discourse about GOATs has put us in a situation where everyone is constantly compared to Michael and LeBron. Everyone's held to these standards. But that is not fair. And it is not a reasonable conversation to have. So I do think he's unfairly criticized because what is the expectation of him? What do you want Kevin Durant to do? That's what I can't get the answer from. It's like everyone's mad at KD. Why are you mad? And what can he do to make you unmad? What can this man do?
I can answer that question.
He's got to go suffer because he did suffer. And that's my problem. Everyone erases whole chapters of Kevin Durant's career.
Yeah.
He was drafted to the Sonics, played with the Thunder, went to the finals with them, won an MVP. We're all curious as to why Dame is so loyal, right, to the Blazers. And when we talk about him, if he doesn't win a championship in his career, we will mention that. But KD made a move to go and put himself in the conversation of a champion. He was the best player on those teams. Won the finals MVP in both of those championships. Because he played alongside a great team, he's supposed to now go suffer for y'all? I'm not suffering for y'all is what I am not going to do, particularly when I already did that. So my question with KD is, what else must he do?
I would answer, as somebody who has been critical of Kevin Durant, is I would want to see Kevin Durant win a championship without joining the best. The Phoenix Suns over the last 2 seasons have had the best record in basketball by 14 games. The Golden State Warriors had the best record in basketball. When LeBron joined the Heat, he did get criticized, as Joy knows, because
Did you criticize him
at the time.
Did you?
I was more focused on other things. I was trying to stay in the NFL.
Okay.
So I didn't have time to pay attention to LeBron James. But even LeBron got criticism then. I would want to see, personally, Kevin Durant win, Slick, without joining a team that had the best tied to it. So you answer, is there an unfair amount of criticism, or is it what it is?
Before I answer that, I need to ask you another question.
Yes, sir. I'm here for it.
Why is it important to you that he prove that he can win a championship?
Great question.
Without.
Great freaking question. That's a phenomenal question. It is the same level of imperative as it was to see Tom Brady win without Belichick. I was on the show Speak talking about, is it Brady, is it Belichick? Is it Brady, is it Belichick? When Brady went and won year 1 with Shady and Bruce Arians, question answered. Is it Kobe, is it Shaq? Is it Kobe, is it Shaq? Shaq won with D-Wade. But then Kobe went and won 2 of them things and went to 3 of them things. Question answered.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson, he won with the Bulls, then he went and won with the Lakers. Questions answered. We ask these questions about all of our greats.
Sure.
So to me, this is not a Kevin Durant specific question. This is a question that you have to earn the right to have asked about you. And KD is so good that he has earned the right to have this question asked.
Okay, so I have to ask another question as a result of that.
Yes, sir.
Did you criticize Tom Brady prior to going to Tampa Bay for only winning championships with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? Did you discount
Another good question.
what he had accomplished
Another good question.
because he had only done it in New England with Bill Belichick?
No. And the reason I will say no is we did not see Tom Brady fall short with another organization, join an organization that was already great, win with the organization, and then leave and fall short again. Remember the Patriots. They had Drew Bledsoe, first quarterback to sign a $100 million deal. They did not win. Tom Brady steps in and starts. They win. You can say that Tom Brady was conducive to the Patriots' success. You cannot say that about Golden State.
Yes.
The Warriors won before KD showed up. Let's not erase 2015 from our minds. Shady is right. In 16, they lost.
Yeah.
But in 15, they did win. So the Warriors succeeded before KD, and they succeeded after KD. The Patriots only ever succeeded with Tom Brady. That, to me, is the difference to answer your question, but you go where you want to go, sir. I'm here to answer questions, though, if you may.
Yeah, no, I think he's unfairly criticized because it feels as if he can't win, and that he is criticized for the narrative of his story as opposed to his accomplishments. That we are looking at, we criticize him because he went to the Golden State Warriors. And then he gets criticized because he left the Golden State Warriors and went to the Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
He's criticized for being loyal to Kyrie Irving. He's being criticized for not being loyal to Russ Westbrook or to Steph Curry. It feels to me as if we look at some of the things that he has done off the court as opposed to on it, and that becomes the prevailing reason why we think less of Kevin Durant. Now, I have often criticized him because of the things that he has said. But that's different than criticizing him for what he's done. I believe that he's mishandled how he's presented himself at times, and that he could do a better job. They're having the social media burner count. Like there's missteps that he's had that I believe are beneath him as a player. But what he's actually accomplished on the court, it's really hard for me to look at being a finals MVP with a completely different team than the 2015 team. We often can, even the 73 win team, it wasn't like they had that roster and added KD and then they won a championship.
Of course.
They lost a ton of pieces. KD replaced them.
Yes, sir.
And proved himself to be the most valuable piece of those two championship teams. So I can't take that away from him, and yet people unilaterally do and discount it because of what the Warriors were or accomplished before.
Let me ask you a question. We've been asking great questions on this, so let me ask you one. If you say KD is unfairly criticized, then who is fairly criticized? If criticism can be unfair, because Joy, I agree with you, nothing in life is fair. Equality, we are born unfairly unequal, and hopefully life makes us more equal. So then, who is fairly criticized?
James Harden.
Is he?
I think so.
Would you agree? Because James Harden's one of the greatest scorers of the generation.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is.
Here's the distinction between James Harden and Kevin Durant. Can I ever say that Kevin Durant did not prepare himself to play at his peak, at his absolute ability?
No.
I can say that about James Harden. I can
So
say
that's fair.
fair.
Yeah, that's
that's
fair.
a fair criticism.
Sure.
Like Kevin Durant, this is another thing. Like even if he didn't join the Warriors, like he still was a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Like you
But
can't
let me
take that
ask-
from him.
let me-
Did Kevin Durant ever not answer the bell? Whether he won or lost.
He always
did. He
did.
ever,
Always.
even when he lost,
Always did.
right? Toe on the line.
He always did. He always did.
always delivered. It may not have been enough.
But I don't know if that is the criticism. My thought is this. Did KD and Joy, you and Slick would know because y'all were both, I was in the league, focused on other things while y'all were in media. Did KD receive this amount of criticism before joining Golden State?
He wasn't. It wasn't as bad. It certainly wasn't as bad, but he was certainly criticized before. Yes.
It was. Why can't you win a championship in Oklahoma City? It's you, Russ Westbrook,
correct,
etc.
But I think that is the standard thing we say about so many players.
That was fair. We do say that a lot about a lot of players. We do say that about a lot of homegrown drafted stars.
Correct.
We will eventually say that about Luka if Luka doesn't win.
We're saying it now to some degree.
But a lot has happened since then.
I would say this, though. If Luka were to join the Suns instead of KD this year, and they go on to win, if Luka were to join the Milwaukee Bucks, if Luka were to join the Boston Celtics, and they win, Luka would get the same criticism that KD got.
But here's my question about the criticism. Like, people constantly present this. Okay, he joins this great team, which is, it's true. They had great players. They're a great organization, well-coached, great ownership. By the way, had to have the money to bring in Kevin Durant in the first place.
Sure.
which your team doesn't do because you don't manage the team properly, which is another thing that people just completely push out of the way. They're a very well-run team. They develop young players. They had cheap talent that stepped
gotta
up.
hold the thoughts,
All
because-
of those things played a role in those championships.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.